Maria Ressa is a digital media pioneer.
Welcome to Rappler, your social news network.
Her online-only news organization, Rappler.com, uses cutting-edge social media tools to expose the truth and hold the Philippine government to account.
Iba ho yung numbers ng Dangerous Drugs Board. Dangerous Drugs Board says only 1.8 million. And then you said originally 3 million, and then it's 4 million. Where are the facts?
As founder, CEO, and executive editor of Rappler, Ressa takes on the controversial policies of Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte, even though by doing so, she now finds herself and her company in the government's crosshairs.
Since you are a fake news outlet, then I am not surprised that your articles are also fake.
Rappler's Impunity series takes a hard look at Duterte's war on drugs, focusing on police killings of thousands of drug suspects without due process.
Nakita ko po nandun ako nakamulagda na wala na po siyang buhay.
The series introduces us to the family of Hart, one of many low-level drug dealers taken from their homes and brutally killed.
Diyan pa daw papasok. Tapos binalian pa raw ng braso.
Tapos po hindi lang yung apat na baril po ang ginawa sa anak ko.
If you go by the numbers of what the police has said, you're talking about almost 30,000 people killed in about a year and a half. The police claim about 4,000 of that is in direct encounters with the police, so they know 4,000 people killed.
Duterte launched a crackdown on the media. He revoked Rappler's license. His government also barred its reporters from covering presidential events. And then, in a serious threat to Rappler's very existence, it charged the company with violating laws against foreign ownership.
I think what's happened to Rappler is a perfect example of how far the government is willing to go to stifle critical voices.
Ressa is fighting the government's case in court, with Rappler's fate on the line.
Democracy is what's at stake. Philippine democracy. We have to fight the fight.
Born in the Philippines, Ressa and her family immigrated to the United States in 1973. She graduated from Princeton and returned to her native country on a Fulbright scholarship after college.
Khalid Sheikh Mohammed is a very familiar name, a familiar face for Filipino authorities.
She's been a journalist in Asia for more than 30 years, most of that time as CNN's bureau chief, first in Manila, then Jakarta.
Indonesia has never had a peaceful transfer of power.
In 2012, she founded Rappler, taking advantage of the Philippines' rapid adoption of social media. Rappler became one of the country's leading sources of news. It currently has more than 3.5 million Facebook likes and 3 million Twitter followers. Ressa was one of the first journalists to embrace crowdsourcing. Rappler created digital tools to allow citizens to report what they see happening, including corruption and disaster response.
You can either report a rescue call, a flooded area, or a general alert.
Rappler's most forward-thinking innovation may be the mood meter, which allows readers to give Rappler feedback about how an article makes them feel.
Soon after, the Supreme Court declares parts of that program unconstitutional. Mood meter, 74% happy.
There's a psychological study that showed that if you ask people to think about how they feel, that very act makes them more aware, and then it actually triggers their rational mind because they're asked to think about how they feel.
While Ressa and Rappler harness the power of social media to promote social change and deepen civic engagement, they also understand the dark side of the internet. They were at the forefront of investigating the use of trolls and social media bots to distort the truth.
A series of fabricated stories undermine the reputation of victims.
Rappler's propaganda series used data analysis techniques to verify that 26 fake Facebook accounts were influencing nearly 3 million real accounts in the Philippines, spreading false perceptions.
These attacks are amplified by fake news, fake accounts, bots, and so-called keyboard warriors.
In the days after Rappler published the series, Ressa received an average of 90 hate messages an hour. But Ressa's digital audience came to her defense, pointing out that some soldiers were involved in the attacks.
To have had that blogger write that letter and then to have had a response by Monday with the Armed Forces chief calling the soldiers to account and then apologizing publicly, that gave me new courage.
At a time when uncompromising independent journalism is increasingly under attack through intimidation, harassment, and targeted disinformation, Maria Ressa vows to continue the fight for Rappler, for freedom of the press, and for democracy itself.
We hold the line. We're reminding people that journalism is exactly telling truth to power, that silence is not an option.